It is time. The college football playoff is finally upon us. New Year's Eve, we roll into 2022 with an excellent couple of matchups as we start off the college football playoff. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl from Jerry World down in Dallas, Texas, as the Cincinnati Bearcats take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Currently, Bama 14-point favorites. The over-under set at 57.5.
We're here.
Oh, we're here.
We're here. We've waited all season for this, and it's like that scene in Dumb and Dumber. Like, we're there, man. Like, the excitement that I get during bowl season, and specifically on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, is off the charts. Everybody's asking, like, what I'm doing for New Year's. I'm sitting on my couch watching all these football games, and then I'm going to bed so I can get up early and watch all of those football games tomorrow. This is legitimately the best time of the year for me. Best 2-day stretch that you could have.
Yeah, the pageantry of college football is a term you hear quite a bit, and they are talking about the next 36 hours of football that we're about to watch.
Yeah, and we got what? 4 today, 4 total today, 5 tomorrow, and then 1 Tuesday. So we're at the tail end of it. So we got to make some money.
Yeah, this is the last chance.
Yeah.
The last chance to make the college football money before we start really hitting hard home the NFL playoffs, as they'll be also starting in a couple of weeks. But let's do this. Let's talk about this game. Cotton Bowl, Jerry World, AT&T Stadium, Cincy, Alabama.
So as soon as I saw the lines come up for these games, immediately after it was announced, I did my usual. Let's look at how offenses have played, how defenses have played, opponents, those types of things. I know you dive farther in the numbers. I just look kind of at the schedule versus schedule. And on paper, you would think that I would shift towards Cincinnati plus 13.5. However, I made that mistake in the SEC championship game, not realizing, one, that it's Nick Saban in a championship game. 2, I was all in on Georgia all season, and Alabama just completely ran them out of the stadium. So you can't tell me that Alabama is going to beat Georgia by more than they're going to beat Cincinnati by. This gives me those vibes of that, like 38-0 game, I think is what it was, against Michigan State early on in the playoff. I know Mitchie's out, but then again, Alabama just rinse, recycles, and repeats these wide receivers. I mean, they had Ruggs and Judy, and then they had Smith and Waddle, and then Mitchie stepped in, and then Williamson stepped in. So I think at the wideout position, even with Mitchie out, it's next man up. I know Cincinnati's corners are elite. Georgia had a pretty good defense too, and that offense seemed to move the football pretty well against them. So I already placed the bet this morning. That is my favorite play of the day, is the Alabama Crimson Tide minus 13.5. And I would probably take the -7 in the first half as well.
Yeah, to me, this is the tougher one of the two that we're going to talk about. And everything you just said makes a lot of sense. We talked about strength of schedule before quite a bit. Alabama 20th, an SEC team, Cincinnati 87th out of 130. But hey, they're 13-0.
True.
They've beat the schedule they're supposed to beat.
They have.
And I don't know, coming into what this organization has been waiting for what feels like forever. Every year there's a talk about, these smaller non-Power 5 schools. Do they deserve a shot? And then here come the Bearcats representing everybody. The former UCFs of the world, the former
Boise State, Utah Utes of the early 2000s.
This is them on the biggest stage of them all, playing the almighty Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time believing that they lose this game by more than 14 points. I would not touch the money line here,
No.
but I will take 2 touchdowns in this game. Just because they're the underdog and you want to root for, especially this kind of underdog in this type of game. Give me Cincinnati plus the 14. I don't love it. I don't love it at all.
Hey, you can speak for yourself on that one. I hate the underdog stories in these spots. I want heavyweights in there knocking themselves around every college football playoff. But when you look at the playoff in general, there's always just a absolute blowout in the semifinals, it feels like. Like there's just one completely uncompetitive game.
Yeah.
And I believe I said it earlier this season. If Cincinnati beats Notre Dame, congratulations. You get the 4 spot, which means you just take Notre Dame's spot just to get beat up in that first playoff game on national TV. So I'm sticking with my stance on that. Bryce Young coming off the Heisman. I know Nick Saban's going to have him ready. I know Cincinnati's probably going to be fired up, but man, you have not seen athletes like this Alabama team. You've not seen physicality like this Alabama team. They're just different. And I feel like Saban's just going to do old Cintron a favor and say, hey, buddy, we got you. We're going to run the score up and run these guys completely out of AT&T Stadium down there in Dallas. Is it still AT&T Stadium?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I'm with you. There's going to be a blowout out of the first round in the semifinals here, but I don't think it's this game. Too much on the line for Cincinnati. Alabama, I mean, let Texas A&M walk in.
Well, that was that kind
shock them. Well, not walk into Tuscaloosa.
But still a shocking win.
Shocker nonetheless.
There.
We watched a not great LSU team play competitive with them before. A not great Arkansas team play competitive with them before. A not great Auburn team play competitive with them before. Obviously, the Georgia win, very impressive, but 2 touchdowns is too much for me in this game. I think they keep it close. Bama moves on to the national championship, and I think that's about all you're going to get from this one. I do want to take the over.
Yes. Was it 57.5?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ticked up a little bit. But this, another thought on this Alabama team, it kind of has that Tampa Bay Bucks vibe from last season. A lot of new faces and new places for them. They got a season under their belt working together now. They're ready. They're gelling. They're in sync. And if they can do what they did to the Georgia defense, they can do it to anybody's defense.
42% of the tickets, 54% of the cash on Cincinnati. Pretty even.
Wow.
Pretty even. Same with the over-under tickets, pretty even. So the country is divided.
Just like we are.
Just like we are. And we've been on the same side too much, so I'm glad we finally disagreed on one. All right, so there you have it. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Game 1 of the college football semifinals. We will see you all in a little bit as we take to the stage for Georgia, Michigan. See you guys then. Good luck.